So podcast is a little bit different this week, and why is that? It is because myself, Colin Griffiths, who runs MTD Network, does some MTDCNC stuff, but today it's all about MTD Global, where we essentially get to travel the world. Super glamorous, depends who you're travelling with, but so far no glamour whatsoever. Exhibitions, so plane, hotel, exhibition, hotel, plane, that's it. And today I'm trying to think of the right word. Joined by, accompanied by, stuck with Paul Jones. Paul, thanks for joining me.
That's okay, good to be here. You missed out one thing there, sleep. We do have a bit of sleep in between. And a bit of fun.
Okay.
You missed that bit, 2 bits.
Yeah, 2 bits, okay. Indeed, we normally partake in the local food and a bit of the hot well.
We do, which we did last night. Good. It's a nice setting, this, for a podcast as well, isn't it? When you look out the window.
The business lounge in
Katowice.
Katowice. Oh my God. It's been here 24 hours, he still can't. Or was that a sneeze? Anyway, Paul.
No, he's back at home.
It is. It's great. It is a great setting in the lounge. I'm enjoying a fine red.
And I'm enjoying a glass of Prosecco, which I think is well deserved after what can only be described as 36 hours of solid work. Really.
Okay, that was me. What about you?
Probably a little bit more, probably 37.
Yeah, whatever. But before we go any further, we need to. I mean, we told people in Katowice, why, Paul?
Okay, so we've just been at Toolex 2020. This is the first exhibition that the Global channel has been to since Steel Fab this year, and it's the first exhibition really that has. I mean, there's been so many that have been cancelled in the last couple of months. In fact, there was several we were hoping to get to in September, which didn't happen in the end. There's even more that have been cancelled that we were expecting to go to in November. BIMU in Spain, yeah, that's
no BIMU, no, still.
Sorry, BIMU in Italy is
still on, yeah.
But BIMU BIMU
BIEMH, I think it is,
in Spain has actually been postponed into 2021. So I think the exercise of this event really was just to see. We didn't expect great things, did we? You know, and I don't think anybody did. I don't even think exhibitors did. But what I would say is, well, I'm sure we'll come on to it, and I'm sure it's a topic on your list to discuss. But glad I came.
Absolutely. No, and all jokes aside, there are normally 2 halls, I think about 500 exhibitors. Patricia, who runs it, and also, what's the gentleman's name? Marcel.
Marcel.
Yeah, a good Polish name, of course. Yeah. But they were great and looked after us really, really well. But there was 60 exhibitors. Great to see them. It really was fantastic. And well,
it was a tenth. Normally, they, like you say, actually, the numbers are about that 600 exhibitors.
Don't take this the wrong way, Paul. 500 down to 60 is not a tenth, but not rocket science.
Well, it's not a million miles off, is it?
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. I'll give you that one.
And I think that was the encouraging thing, that it wasn't just 50 exhibitors or 60 exhibitors that just turned up with a shell scheme. It was no. You know, a lot of them had brought machinery there. They'd brought working machinery there, metal cutting. Engraving.
No, I'm going to stop you there because we'll go through a few of them. But I think key to what we do in terms of doing the global events, exhibitions, is actually seeing companies and machine equipment or any sort of equipment that you don't see in the UK regularly. So anybody, any you can think of?
I think there was a lot actually. When we first jumped on the plane, I was kind of thinking, what are we going to see here? Yeah, we've been told that there's about 25 machines on show. I'm thinking, what are those 25 machines going to be? Are they going to be the ones that we traditionally see back in the UK market or around the world at these events? Or are they going to be Polish manufactured machines, which is what was my hope, that were going to be machines that were manufactured here, and that there were companies that were exhibiting them to their local market, but also looking for potential distribution around the globe. And I think we definitely found the latter. We found a lot of companies that had got machines that I'd not seen. I'm sure we'll come on to a lot of them, but CNC milling, laser cutting. What we didn't see was 3D printers, and I'm probably taking a lot of the things off of your list here. And we didn't see a lot of automation.
Once again, Paul, you've actually read my script and stolen all of it and ruined all of it.
But they're things that we didn't see, but the things that we did see, maybe we should focus on.
So yeah, absolutely no 3D printing whatsoever. Automation was a little bit because it was Janos, I think, from Jason had the latest Fanuc robot.
It's correct, they did, loading a cylindrical grinder, internal and external grinding. There was, we say there wasn't much automation, but there was claimed to be the world's fastest gantry machine from Takisawa, which was a twin spindle machine with facing spindles.
Who was supplying the Takisawa machine? I'm going to put you on the spot there.
I know you got me. I'd have to fish through my bag and look at my business card.
Brabiarca. I can't even pronounce it. I've got it written in front of me. Brabiarki. There you go. Michael. He was great because, on that stand, so they had the Takisawa, and no disrespect to Takisawa in the UK, far from it, you don't see enough of their machines. I mean, I can only think of one engineering company that I know, LMS Precision, Roger Street. He's got one, but that's the only one I can think of that I've seen.
They're a machine that's... there isn't a lot of them. But Takisawa as two manufacturing sort of sites. You've got the Taiwanese brand, and then you've got the ones that are made in Japan. Two sort of different machines. So you've got the economical version, should we say, the entry-level machine type, which is what we saw a lot of on the company that you mentioned, Stan, which was the
Brabiarca,
which was the three-axis machine. However, the technology that we saw with the Takisawa facing spindle machine, I'm actually not sure whether that's built in Japan or Taiwan, actually.
But just to clarify, that machine is gantry loader, twin spindle, twin turret, but not complex jobs?
It's volume. It's all volume, isn't it? It's the automotive sector. It's the tack time, efficiency, spindle up time. All of those things are. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Muratech machine from that Matsura supply back in the UK, this Takisawa version is a very similar concept of machine to that.
Okay. So we said about automation, not many robots, but that is a great example of automation.
It is.
Now, those guys also had a fixed head lathe. I won't dwell on that too much because, as Michael said, it was a fixed head lathe. Twin spindle, single turret.
It was a three-axis machine. It had mill drill. It was your general job shop machine tool, and I think that's why they wanted to exhibit it.
But what they did have, and is it a first? Yeah, probably is a first. Waco, which was.
I'm awake.
I'm going to put you on pressure on that. That was a slider. So if I'm thinking sliding head, I'm thinking Citizen, Star straight away. Hanwha. Is it
Hanwha, Tornos, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
It was interesting to get his comments, and this will come across on because we've done tons of videos. So if you're listening to this and you want to watch what we're talking about, visit MTDCNC.global because there's plenty of videos on there, specifically the interview that you did about this machine as well. Discussing the frailties of one of their competitors, essentially, weren't they? Talking about how one, I think, of the directors had moved from one company to another and identified weaknesses with his previous employment and then addressed those on this particular brand. And these were things to do with clamping, the hydraulic clamping element.
Force, because it was, the competitor wasn't hydraulic.
Yeah, which, of course, security in machining is massive, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as you can see, we are recording from the airport lounge in the background. I think we're about to miss our flight, but they'll wait. I mean, we'll give it 10, 15 minutes, don't worry.
Well, you're flying it, aren't you? They're not going to...
Don't you worry about that. I've had a couple of beers, we'll be fine. So anyway, that was your Takisawa, your Waco, slider, other stuff. I mean, we mentioned...
what about the polishing machine? That was quite an interesting one, wasn't it?
Polishing in Poland, so it's polish. But because that was the guys from... I'm just trying to remember who they were. Great budget. And Mike Costa.
Yeah.
So they had a number of machines, but no disrespect to what they do, very basic.
It was very simple. Yeah, it was very simple, but it was machinery. Again, this is something that you come to these shows for, to find little gems that you just don't see when you're out and about on the road. And, you often don't see a lot of plant, like I say, in general engineering companies that could be really handy for them.
Do you think that'll get much? I mean, it was a polishing machine, indexing. You were working it manually.
In simple terms, it was like a very small, conventional lathe that had some buffing wheels on it. A little turret with different buffers, so you can do the internal bores, you can do external finishing. It depends. It's all, to coin Gio's phrase, application specific. But I do think that there is. I could have found it very handy when I was an apprentice, as I mentioned in the video.
How many fingers did you lose fluffing or whatever the word is?
If I had need to stick up at you at the moment, I would, but unfortunately I don't. That's how many I
Now,
lost.
another thing. So we've mentioned the Takisawa, absolutely. Ceron. We met Arta.
Yes.
What were they doing?
Yeah, really interesting couple of machines. It was a laser machine that marked as well as cut out the part, didn't it?
Yep.
The application they were showing was almost like carving wood, but marking it at the same time. But these machines do also mark metallics as well. Again, you look at it, is it kind of a hobbyist machine or is it an industry product? Probably a bit of both, but I think he's looking for distribution around the world with it.
Again, yeah, that's one of the reasons why because they do want distributors around the world, if I could say that. But with that, you say hobby. I don't think hobbyists. I think that's probably undervaluing it a little bit, in my opinion. But I mean, that was a CO2 laser.
But it would be good to have as a if you could afford it. It'd be good to have as a hobby.
Yeah.
Didn't even say. I think he costed it. It was about £8,000.
Yeah, so
8,000 euros.
Yeah, so even better. But also they had. Well, they called it a router. It wasn't. We're going to have to agree to this. Well, we agree, but we have to disagree with the CEO of the company.
I don't know whether the figures that he quoted about the machine's capabilities were quite right. I think there might have been a bit of confusion in the interpretation, because he said that the spindle on this particular machine had 60 kilowatts of power and a 24,000 RPM spindle.
And
I look at that and I go, well, hang on a minute. This thing is an HSK, I don't know,
40, wasn't it?
HSK 40, HSK 63. I can't remember exactly what it was. And I look at it and go, well, it's the first time I've ever seen a machine with the power that we're talking
60
about.
kilowatts.
So I think it might have been 6 kilowatts.
I think he might have got a slight decimal point in the wrong place. But that great machines though, they really were.
If you are listening and we've made a mistake, apologies. Let us know.
Most definitely. Now another one, grinding, and I'm not talking about you on a Saturday night down a nightclub. Two ones, great machine. Well, great companies opposite each other actually. Volma and Anker.
Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? These are two massive brands. You're talking Anker, Australian manufactured products. Volma, made in Germany. Two very high-end tool cutting tool grinding machines. The Volma one of real interest. Well, there's two machines. The first one they were actually finishing or what's the word I'm looking for? Grinding, of course. Grinding.
Surprising that, Paul. Yep.
The inserts on a saw.
Yep.
And to tolerance, different angles.
It was a circular saw. Yeah.
Yeah. The second machine, which really sort of stole the show in some senses, was a dual grinding wheel machine, which can be used to not only cut the flutes or grind the flutes on tools, but also do every other operation as well. Whereas normally you might have to take the cutting tool out and put it to another machine for a different machining operation.
So I'm trying to visualise that. So essentially, it was almost like it had two spindles and one turret, and so that the turret could move from one and do the second.
You talk about a turret, but
I'm trying to
the spindle holding the cutting tool.
Yep.
So on the bottom grinding wheel, they're using it to grind the flutes, and then it's moving up to the top grinding wheel in to do either lengths or diameters.
Right.
What in a lot of companies happens is they will use one machine to do one of those operations and move it around the works. Now we all know what that means when you start moving products from one machine to another. You introduce all kinds of potential issues.
Well, if someone like yourself, when you're an engineer, it's a human error.
You'd lose it between one and
the
other.
Scrap probably 95% of the parts.
It was normally scrapped on the first operation, so it wouldn't even make the second machine. But that is the I think this machine, it was launched 2 years ago, and they were looking for it to be at EMO. Obviously didn't happen this year, but they are going to GrindTech, which is another show that we may well visit.
Coming soon to Germany.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Now, another thing, we have touched on it briefly, automation. I got the impression, automation, I'm talking not sliding heads or gantry loaders, I'm talking robots, was not big in Poland. I got that impression.
Yeah, it was really bizarre, wasn't it? At most shows you go to, they're like, it's even in the name, automation, automating this, automating that. There was none of that here at all, was there? I mean, you looked at a cobot. I know we talk about some of the machines that had the sort of automation built into them, the sliding head lathe and the gantry loading machine, but independent automation solutions were few and far between. Even interesting, when you interviewed a guy, he said that Poland don't really want automation.
No.
And you can understand that there's a clear message in that to me. You're looking at a low cost economy here. you're looking at a country that is able to compete on every level with, the UK, Germany, and all the rest of it, and provide product because they don't have the the costs that we do.
We're gonna have a Trump Biden fallout about this because I totally disagree. Even if it's a local, we're judging.
They could. I know what you're going to say, and I think
we don't.
They could become even more competitive, but the introduction of the labour into it, if there is a labour aspect, and if they don't want us to invest in automation because they want us to use labour, they're going to win every day of the week. So they're kind of hoping that by them not using automation is going to make that we don't use automation too, and therefore then they will be more competitive than we are because their labour costs are less. It's a crazy kind of analogy, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it was a great analogy. I wasn't actually listening because I was watching a plane take off, which was far more interesting than that example. No, I am joking. It is a very, very valid point.
There's some economics in there somewhere, isn't there?
Definitely. Unfortunately, I'm the one with the degree in economics, home economics. But anyway, moving on swiftly. Another great thing was we didn't do much software, but tooling. Now, we did find, I was going to say, it was a great company, LTS. It was a great company because they gave us some beers at the end of the day. But
very hospitable.
Tooling they were supplying. Now, one was WizCut.
WizCut, yeah.
And the other one was, I can't remember the other one there.
But the WizCut was a product that is born out of Japan.
No, you're incorrect there. I'm going to stop you there. Sweden, that was for sliding head.
Apologies.
Sliding head tooling. But some of the stuff they had that like micro drills.
2-time.
I'm sorry, 2-time. Don't you 2-time me, Paul? I'll tell you what.
2-time was the cutting tools that they were bringing in from Japan.
That's the one.
Fairly new product, 5 years old. Got exclusive distribution rights around Europe and looking to distribute it.
So the company is LTS. Tooling is 2-time and WizCut. So let's just take a step back. The 2-time was any type of tooling, really?
Yeah. I mean, it was. It was. I mean, we even saw huge U-drills there. There was inserts for. Yeah, I mean, it was across the board. Micro drills, very small diameters.
But that one was. It was about being, don't say, I hate to say
there
cheap.
There was 3 aspects, wasn't there? Can you remember what he told you?
Absolutely. I can remember, yes, but I'm going to put you on a spot. Can you?
No, that's why.
One was chip breaking.
Yeah.
Being cost effective. So they hate to use the word cheap. It's cost effective, and this is good, cost effective tooling and surface finish.
Yeah.
You've got to get those 3 things. Get those three things. Three things right.
Longevity of the tool.
Oh, that's 4 things. Well done. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. But with that, so that's toe time. But the WizCut was Swedish. But that's more about your sliding head tooling. Yeah. But some of that stuff, they had the micro drill, which was, can you remember what the size?
No.
0.1 of millimetre.
Really? Yeah.
That was, and then they had micro threading, which I think, and the video, I'm sure we quoted it in the video, but I think 0.2. And we've got some photos.
You need your bifocals on really to see it, don't you?
Well, yes, absolutely. Well, trifocals, they were that small. So there we go. Paul, overall, we've
great. Yeah, sorry, you're going to ask. Yeah, my overall analysis of the event is really glad that we came. Good to go to a show again. And one of the big things is that you do miss it. You walk around and you talk to people, you meet people. How many people have we met? We did at the end of the day, we did a walk round where I was filming you walking round, and basically, it's ready in 5.
Okay.
So basically, we. You walked around and everyone was saying hi guys, hi guys,
yep.
Hi guys, and that's something you can't get. It's priceless.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing.
Virtual exhibitions, but chatting, asking the pertinent questions, seeing the machines working, absolutely. And Paul, I am going to have to cut this short. I had a great time, great being back at an exhibition, and yes, I'm just interpreting that. They're calling our name, so we're going to have to get going. I hope you enjoyed it, finding out about what we've done in Poland, and then next trip.
Not sure yet. Let's see what happens.
I hope fingers crossed it's Italy. That's that's my holiday, not necessarily an exhibition.
Have a look at the MTDCNC Global website.
Yep.
To see the videos.
And if you're looking for distribution, people who want distributors in the UK, have a look, because if people do, there's some great products out there. So
absolutely.
That's MTDCNC.global.
Yes, .global.
Paul, thank you, and let's go. We better get a run on. Hopefully, we haven't missed our flight. We'll see you back in the UK very soon.
Dankeschön, Colin.
Au revoir.
Thanks for listening to the MTD Podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on MTDCNC.com.